MLS is heading into its final game week of the regular season. Every single team is sitting on 33 games played, and every team also knows whether they still have hope for postseason fun or if it's time to start looking into the 2023 season. With Decision Day right around the corner, it may be hard to understand what exactly each team has to play for or where they could end up. So I've taken on the duty of trying to make a comprehensive list of almost every playoff scenario. Disclaimer here, I'm pretty sure all of these scenarios are correct, but with so many different possibilities, there is a chance that I may have miscalculated at least one of them. So if you notice any issues, slam it down in the comments and I'll be sure to pin it so everyone can see. But without further ado, we'll start by looking over to the Eastern Conference, where 3 teams are still in the fight to clinch a playoff spot. And before we break down those teams, let's get the easy ones out of the way. DC United, Toronto FC, Chicago Fire, Atlanta United, New England Revolution, and Charlotte FC are all eliminated from postseason contention. So that leaves 8 teams, and we'll talk through them one by one. Currently, starting at the top in first place sits the Philadelphia Union on 64 points. They were so close to staying in the Supporters Shield race, but after dropping their last game to Charlotte, those hopes are now gone. Now it's up to them to remain top seed in the East. If the Union win, they'll stay first. But if they draw or lose to Toronto on Sunday and Montreal picks up the win in Miami, Montreal will jump them either just on points or by the first tiebreaker total number of wins. Next up, as I mentioned, is Montreal. They've already guaranteed second place in the East, but as I mentioned, an away win and a Philadelphia loss, they'll snatch that first seed spot, which would be an incredible achievement for Wilfried Nancy and his squad. But anything other than a win won't cut it. 3 points is a must for a chance to get that first seed. In third place, we have NYCFC, who managed to fight off the late season slump to stay in the home playoff spots, at least for now. On 52 points, the Pigeons can't go any higher, but if they lose in Atlanta and the Red Bulls win their match, then they'll fall down to 4th place. Now that 4th place spot still has a home playoff game, but if you want that 3rd seed, a win or draw will seal it. And now things start to get a little bit complicated, so stay with me. For the Red Bulls, they sit in 4th place, but have the potential to either climb up to 3rd or drop out of the home playoff spots. With the win, they'll be guaranteed at least 4th, with the possibility to climb to 3rd if New York City lose. With the draw, the Red Bulls risk dropping down if Miami picks up the win against Montreal on the Games 1 tiebreaker. If New York loses their match and Miami picks up the win, they'll also be dropped out of the home playoff games by 1 point. Basically, for the Red Bulls, you need a win if you want that playoff spot. And now to the current 5th place holder, Miami, and the last team who has already clinched their spot in the postseason. For Miami, as mentioned, if they win, they'll climb up to 4th place if the team above them, the New York Red Bulls, do not manage 3 points against Charlotte. Miami can also drop all the way down to 7th place if they don't win, and Columbus and Cincinnati pick up wins in their game. Every spot from 7th to 4th is still open for Miami, but they won't miss out on the postseason no matter what. And now for the teams who still need to get the job done. Beginning with Cincinnati, it's relatively easy. If they win, they clinch a spot, and with the Miami loss, they can jump into 5th place. They also will clinch a playoff spot with just a draw versus bottom of the league DC United. Where it gets tricky is if they lose. With the loss against DC and a draw in the Orlando-Columbus game, Cincy will miss out on the playoffs on the Games 1 tiebreaker. But if Cincy lose and there is a winner out of the Orlando-Columbus game, then Cincinnati will still make the postseason for the first time ever. In 7th place sit Columbus Crew, and they are another team who can climb to as high as 5th place but also drop out entirely. The big part about this game is that they are playing a team also fighting for the playoffs in Orlando. Both of these teams' future rides on this game. For Columbus, with a win or a draw, they'll qualify. For Orlando, only a win will suffice. In Orlando's case, a win can take them up to 5th if there's also a 3-goal differential swing between Orlando's game and Miami's game, and Cincinnati lose. For Columbus, they would need Miami and Cincinnati to lose for a chance at that 5th seed placement. And that's all for the East. Lots of games in terms of seeding, most prominently being the 1st seed race between Philadelphia and Montreal, and also the big win and in match in Orlando versus Columbus. On the West, we'll once again start with the eliminated teams. San Jose, Houston, Kansas City, Seattle, and Colorado make up the group of kids who just couldn't get an invite to the party, which leaves 9 teams still theoretically in the race for MLS Cup. First place has been locked up, with LAFC picking up the Supporter Shield. A few months ago, there were thoughts that they could break the record regular season points tally, but after huge slip-ups in this past month, that's no longer a possibility. LAFC has the potential to climb to a 70-point total with the win against Nashville. Next, in second, also locked into their position, is Austin. Remarkable season for a team who ended last year in the depths of the Western Conference. With their playoff game at home already sold out, this Austin side can still jump to 58 points on the year. Currently in third place sit FC Dallas on 50 points. Although a win cannot take Dallas any higher on the table, a result in this game is a must to guarantee a home game. With a win or draw against Kansas City, they'll clinch the third seed. But if they lose at home and the LA Galaxy find a win, then they'll drop to fourth on the Games 1 tiebreaker. They could also drop to fifth if Nashville come away from LAFC with a win and a better goal difference than Dallas. But there is no chance that they will drop any farther than fifth place. Currently in fourth place is the LA Galaxy, a team that can finish all the way from third place to seventh. If the Galaxy win, they'll guarantee a home game on the Games 1 tiebreaker, even if Nashville wins as well. If Dallas loses, then the Galaxy will end up in third with a win. And once again, this is where things get complicated. If the Galaxy draw, there are multiple scenarios that could take the Galaxy out of the home game spots. The one I'll cover is if Nashville and Portland win, they'll overtake the Galaxy, but there's also a lot of other possibilities. For Nashville in fifth, they are the last team to have a playoff spot guaranteed. But like the Galaxy, they can rise from third place or fall to seventh place. For a chance to climb, they need a win against LAFC and Dallas to lose. And if they lose or draw versus LAFC, there's potential that Portland and Minnesota can actually jump Nashville. And now, the last four teams in the West, they all play each other, and they're all competing for these last two playoff spots. Real Salt Lake versus Portland, and Minnesota versus Vancouver. To break it down simply, both of these games is a win and in scenario. The two teams currently outside of the playoffs, RSL and Vancouver, will climb in if they can win it. But the two other teams in the playoffs can stay in those spots if they at least draw their game. For Portland, sitting on 46 points, a win could take them as far as fourth place if Nashville and the Galaxy lose. For Minnesota, a win can also take them to fourth place, but they would need all of those teams plus Portland to lose. So again, just to keep it simple, the winner from these two games will make the playoffs. And that's it. Every club's hopes ride on what happens Sunday. Every single team in the East will play at 2:30 Eastern Time, and every single team in the Western Conference will play at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. This is the time where teams need to show up. It's going to be exciting, and guess what? It only gets better when the playoffs kick off. Enjoy all the games. I wish all of your clubs is the best, and I'll see you guys next time.